An interesting fact about Williams syndrome is that when I was younger, I was told that I could have been a leprechaun because like our irises are kind of like leprechauns, I heard. um, so that's quite interesting. um, there are 1 in 20,000 people that have this disability, so it's really, really rare. And so it's something that is not really found in the world much. So it's good for me to have this chance to tell more people about it. One thing that I forgot to tell you guys about is that I don't look like my siblings, so that's a little interesting. Because of our disability, we tend to look differently than they do. So that's one thing. It varies. Like when I was younger, I had speech therapy and also physical therapy. So there are some of us that can't talk very well, or some of us that are like really loud and energetic. So like going to different things with other people who have Williams syndrome is kind of hard because you're not sure how to react with other people. One of the biggest symptoms I have is I have bad enamel in my teeth, and so I'm prone to getting cavities a lot. It's something that I don't like, but it's something you have to deal with. So that's one thing. Another thing is we have what's called a heart murmur, and that's where our heartbeat can go pretty fast at times. Luckily, I don't have that. And so sometimes people need surgery who have this. So we get asthma sometimes because our muscles are not as strong as other people's. So that's a big thing as well. And so we have to work at trying to build strength. I have ADD as well. So it seems like when you get older, you get more issues, like your hair starts turning gray faster, and you have attention deficit disorder like I do. And so it just depends on the person, I think. It's a scientific mutation in your cells. It's with the 7th chromosome gene. It's where it breaks and it can't be put back together again. And so it causes a lot of different things to happen. And so we get weak muscle tone, sensitive hearing. We have depression, anxiety. We can also sometimes have autism symptoms as well. So it's pretty interesting. It can be passed down to children, sadly. So I've known this all my life. So yeah. I actually do therapy quite a bit here locally in Provo. I deal with a lot of depression and anxiety. So they help me to deal with that. And also I'm on medication to help cope with that as well. Like Wellbutrin and different things like that. It can be controlled, but it takes a lot more practice. And I'm thankful that I have a therapist to help me through my hard times, because without that, I wouldn't be able to cope with anything. Wellbutrin, it helps to stimulate my mood so it's not as severe, and helps with my mood swings, and also helps me to try and focus on other things better. When I do therapy, it's because a lot of times I'm dealing with relationship issues, and I don't know how to cope with it. Sometimes I feel like I'm all alone and trying to deal with it, you could say. I think therapy helps me a lot because it makes me feel a lot better. helps me to focus. And one of my therapy session is like my therapist asks me questions, and then I talk back to him and give him an answer. And then we sort of talk about it in ways that are better than like hurting yourself or hitting yourself or things like that. Living with Williams syndrome can be hard at times because people judge you for looking differently than somebody else. And they don't really know how to understand you as a person. And so they give you like weird looks or stares. And, but my family's been great, very supportive, so that's been helpful. It's harder for me to carry heavy things, so I can't lift more than 40 pounds, which is a big thing, because you need it for work at times. And also, it's hard to move my legs at times because they're much shorter than other people's legs, so I can't walk as fast as other people can. So that's a big thing. When I was younger, I was bullied a lot, and so that was really hard for me to deal with. I think that people need to understand that we're human beings. And one of the biggest challenges I have is relationships. That's the biggest thing for me, is trying to learn what friendship is and how it works, and who my real friends are, who are just faking it, that type of thing. I make friends with people, but then recently it seems like they don't want to have the same relationship that I do with them. And so I'm trying to understand that as a person with Williams syndrome, because we're overly friendly a lot. So that's one thing I'm trying to learn. When I was younger, I had really bad problems with my teeth, so I had to go to the dentist quite a bit. And during one of my visits, the dentist said that I had to get 12 fillings. And so right away he started drilling on my teeth, and we realized that he was taking advantage of me. And so he didn't need to do that work, but he still did it anyways. So that was really hard for me to deal with. So I had to be knocked out and everything. So just be aware of that, especially if you have kids with Williams syndrome, because you don't want them to be taken advantage of. Some similarities with autism is like I move around a lot sometimes when I'm energetic. Sometimes when I'm very stressed out or worried, I rub my legs a lot. With Williams syndrome, we don't really do that. So that's interesting. And also with autism, I think you get more jumpy and energetic. So yeah. I actually worked with a boy with autism when I was in high school. And so he couldn't talk very well. And so it was like hard to get him to do things. But like calming him down was a lot harder than if you have a person with Williams syndrome, because they don't quite know how to tell you what's going on. And with Williams syndrome, you can mostly tell people what's going on. We're big into music. Like, I especially love singing. I bet a lot of people can relate to that. I really enjoy like looking out at nature and being able to see different things. I get out of it a sense of calm and peaceness. I'm not as uptight or depressed or angry. It makes me so calm that I can fall asleep sometimes when I'm listening to it. And also, it's a big thing that we love doing as kids with Williams syndrome. So I want to do more of that. Some of them like to play instruments or sing, so it's a wide variety of things. At a very young age, my parents actually sang a lot when I was younger, so I would listen to them sing. And then when I was in elementary school, I thought it would be cool to learn how to sing better than play the piano. I think with Williams syndrome, it's easy for people to look at us differently. We are different, but I mean, we're human beings. And you don't have to be afraid of us because we were created the same way you were. And so you guys can feel free to ask me questions. You don't have to be afraid of me. And feel free to get to know me. There's an organization that we have. It's called williamsyndrome.org, and it helps you to learn about us a lot more. It's more in depth, and another way to love us is to get to know us. We're human beings like everybody else. Don't be afraid to ask questions because we love people. So so feel free to ask me questions. Biggest thing is our walk that happens every summer. It's in June, and there's a lot of people with Williams syndrome in Utah, and so we organize different walks for Williams syndrome, and so next May we'll be doing another one. So feel free to come. Just staring at us is not a very good thing. Well, you can, but I mean. Another thing is don't talk to us like we're little babies. I like being talked to normally, so that's how I like to be talked to. When I was born, my sister actually took me to her show and tell and showed everybody who I was. And that meant a lot to me because it showed that she was caring for me. And I think it's really neat when people make the effort to show that people with Williams syndrome are good people. And I'm thankful for people who make this world a better place by helping those with disabilities. For those of you who have Williams syndrome, don't give up on yourself. That's a big thing that a lot of people do with Williams syndrome is they give up on themselves and they don't want to try. And we get depression too, so that's a big thing as well. To not give up and keep going. I know that's a hard thing to do with yourself, but you got to pick yourself back up and keep going. And there are lots of people that love you and support you, so just please don't give up. Of course, reading the scriptures helped me. I'm LDS or Mormon, if you don't know what that means. I also like listening to music that's very soothing and calming. So if you have trouble with anxiety, then don't let it overwhelm you. Another thing to avoid is doing heavy lifting. Because it will affect your whole body, so be careful not to use too much. I just want you guys to enjoy life. When things get hard, just try and do things that you enjoy doing. Yeah. I'm very grateful for all of you and for all that you've done for me. I'm grateful for those of you who haven't given up on me and have been supportive and have stood up for me recently and things like that. So I love you guys, and I want you to know that you're wonderful people. So thank you.